Warning: the following episode of That Mental Ginger Show contains strong language and adult themes.
Alright, troops.
Hello and welcome to That Mental Ginger Show with your host Andrew Durning, aka The Mental Ginger. Well, I'm up to 6 now. I have to remember to say 6 faithful followers because Tim would get mad at me from the last episode if I didn't include them. So we have a very special guest today, and her name I'm going to try not to butcher. If I do, I'll get her to repeat it so it's done properly. And her name is Myrna Fe Agsaullo. That was definitely wrong. That was definitely wrong. I apologise to every member of your family. Please, I got it right at the start. And it just went woo.
Yeah, you got my name, but then my family name was like,
Yeah, so
my family name is Agsaullo, so it's a Spanish family name.
So to every member of Agsaullo, I sincerely apologise for butchering your native tongue. So how are you, Myrna? We've just spoke a couple of times. It's just nice to actually get to see you face to face.
Yeah, so glad to be here, and I'm thrilled that you invited me to the show. It's really amazing that people across all over the world, welcome me in their shows. As
yeah, it's the same.
I'm here in the Philippines.
Yeah,
and it's really a different time zones.
I actually have some followers in the Philippines. Actually, know a couple people came on. They're from that neck of the world. So yeah. So the Philippines, I acknowledge you. I notice you, even though I butcher your last names at times. Well, and I'm very, very grateful that you listen to a ginger white guy from Scotland. So what I like to do, Myrna, is to get my guests to tell my audience their origin story, because if there's one thing we all have in common is that we have an audience. So Myrna, for my 6 faithful followers, please tell us your origin story.
I am already 40 years old. Yeah.
You definitely do not look 40. No, no way.
41 on December 19.
In fairness, my wife is older than me. She's 39, but she looks younger than me. She looks about like 24, 25. But that's I always joke that's what you want. They're old enough to know better, but young enough to get ID'd.
Right. A lot of people who I met along across, in Facebook and whatever personal. If I tell them, come on, I'm 40. What? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? You're not 40.
Definitely. Well, I definitely fall into that category. I thought you were about like the 24, 25 mark.
They always say that.
At a push 30. But man,
and
what?
The secret is some other men on that age bracket think I am that age, so they try to woo me and be their girl.
We were going to say like the secret is lots of diet or exercise or plenty of rest. It's just like the secret is old weird men.
Yeah, so I live in the city, San Fernando City. It's really a coastline along the South China Sea, and the Pacific area, 10 minutes away from here. That's why a lot of foreigners are there. And I'm a teacher. I'm a licensed teacher.
What subjects do you teach?
I teach art appreciation, which I really love teaching, and also sports, physical education. But basically, I was really trained in college to do theater arts, music, visual arts, and all that. That's what I really love doing ever since I was a kid. I love to sing, I love to perform, be on stage and entertain people.
No, definitely. I think that's why a lot of people migrated to the podcasting world when lockdown kicked in, because it was like, right, this is the way I can express myself creatively.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. What type of sport? Well, you say like obviously it's sports education and stuff as well.
I also teach that.
Yeah. So what type of sports do you do?
I'm on racket sports,
Mm.
specifically badminton. I love badminton. I could play all day.
My
doing
wife will love you. Like, not only are you about the same age and still look young together, she loves badminton as well. Well, oh my God.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna have to go
We should
Mormon.
meet.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Mormon. I've met my Philippines wife. Here we go.
Yeah, we should come and visit and we should,
Yeah,
play.
definitely. Like, you can come crash on my couch. It's a very comfy couch. I'll probably sleep on it tonight after mentioning the wife so many times.
Yeah, so that's it. But currently, I've stopped teaching. I did a medical leave from the state university because I teach college. Yeah, because of my operation, I just had what they call that, spinal decompression surgery last May. So I'm on my 6th month. I don't want to, dig deeper into that, but yeah. At first,
No, just whatever you're comfortable with.
I was
you tell
so
me.
depressed because if you compare the life I had before, when I could dance, I could, play all day, I could do everything. Now, it's not that I'm stagnant, but for now, my doctor says I have to fully recover before slowly and gradually doing things that I usually did.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But so since I didn't want to go into depression again like I did last year when I couldn't move from waist down. But I did now after the operation, since I was, I did some self-introspection, spiritual healing and all that. I try to focus on things that I could do, not on those that I couldn't do anymore. So that's when I went back to singing. So I opened up my channel, my page, and I did my song covers. And I'm trying to finish, just a little composition, because I used to compose songs when I was in college. Yeah, I did a band as well since high school.
Wow. Right. So tell me about the band. What type of genre of music did you play? Was it anything or everything, or was
alternative? We did alternative because during the time when I was in high school, alternative music, came to trend. So I was the singer at the same time the rhythm guitarist. I was the only girl.
Wow.
And all of them are men. The drummer, the bassist, the leadist, they were all men. I was the only girl. And we did shows to school. But then after school, of course, we all had to go to college. We separated. So I was solo. I did solo performances in the college that I studied, and then theater shows as well in the school.
So what was your favorite theater show?
Miss Saigon.
Miss Saigon.
She's my idol ever since I was a kid, Leia Salonga.
It's a very, very good show. Don't get me wrong. I think anybody doing it over in our neck of the woods, it could be slightly offensive, to say the least. But yeah, it is a really good show if done correctly, obviously.
I could listen to it the whole day and sing with Leia all the time.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's lots of people that will probably be listening around you going, "Does she ever shut up?"
Right.
I only know because I get that as well. Sometimes if I'm singing in the house or whatever, or just generally doing stuff, they'll be like, "Can you just banging on the wall? Like, can your kids shut up?" I'm like, no, that was me. Sorry. I was like, my kids are 3. They're in bed. They're in bed by now.
Oh, you have a cat.
I do have a cat. Yes, I have a cat, and I have twin 3-year-old boys. Yes, so my cat is. Because I always talk about the kids, and I never really talk about the cat. So I'm quite glad I can talk about the cat for this one. But so
because my daughter is a cat girl. I mean, I'm the dog. I'm a fur mom, but I'm more onto dogs. Because actually, it's my side hustle. It's my kind of business. I breed dogs and sell the puppies. So yeah, Shih Tzu, Maltese, Action.
What's that like?
I used to have 35 dogs.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of dogs.
A lot. Yeah.
What's it like doing because I'm genuinely fascinated by this now, like the dog breeding. The only time that I've ever witnessed dog breeding was when I was stopped at Scotch corner, going on holiday with my wife, and we just saw two people just basically trying to get their dogs to mount each other. And it was, and it was very, very awkward.
And
especially
I did that too.
Yeah, you're trying to eat your lean ham sandwich, and all of a sudden you're just seeing that in front of you. You're like, do I keep eye contact? Do I look away? Alison, have you finished your sandwich yet? And because my wife also she's got an HND in animal care as well. So that's sadly not she's been able to go down, but that's her passion, and she's educated me on dog breeds. She's educated me on all different types of things about like how to look after animals. Because I had absolutely no clue. The closest I had to an animal when I was a kid was a goldfish. And they're just and they're not really alive. They're just less dead. So tell me about like how did you get into the dog breeding kind of business?
Since I was young, I was already a dog lover, but they were just the ordinary dogs that were given to me by my relatives. So ever since I was a kid, I promised myself that if ever I get a job and I'll be able to financially capable to buy and maintain a dog, I'll be buying every dog that I would see. So when I started having a job, that's when I started, then my aunt, who was also a dog breeder, taught me. Then from 1 to 3 to 10 to 20 to 35.
Wow.
So I just, search in the internet how to do it. Then the vet became my friend. So, I had it all that. Then it's good. The thing is, it's just there are a lot of things that you need to do. So what I did was to hire a kennel assistant. So at least most of the things that I couldn't do while I teach in the university, then she does it. But I had to learn to do the mating that you were telling me a while back. Because not every time I could call the shooter, the man who does the shooting or mating for the male and the female. So I said, okay, he's not available. So what I should do? I should try doing it. And I did. Imagine me, I'm a teacher. And yet I'm doing that.
You're like, come on, Rover. It's okay. It's all right.
Come on, baby. You can do it.
Like, I could just picture like having a counselling session before it with the dog. I was like, okay, let's discuss how you're feeling. By the way, if you ever need a new kennel assistant, I'm sure my wife would move to the Philippines. I've already said to her she could go wherever she wants to go as long as she's doing what she loves doing. So I may be jetsoning her out the Philippines to be your kennel assistant.
That's it. So last year we started the cattery. It was my daughter's passion. Not really a cat person, but she taught me to. She says that the cat is a better disciplined, furry animal. And I think it's true. Because the cats usually know where to pee, where to poo. Unlike the dogs, usually if you don't housebreak them, they just do it anyway. The cat goes on same litter box every time.
My wife said to me, her saying was, dogs prepare you for kids, cats prepare you for teenagers.
Really?
And I thought, well, that's kind of true, because when they get to that point, they just want to be left alone, and as long as there's food in my dish, I've got somewhere to poop, I've got somewhere to sleep. That's a teenager. Just put an Xbox in there. Get the cat on an Xbox and that's it sorted. But and the way it actually came about with having the cat was my wife, she grew up on a farm, and they always had like cats that would always kind of kick about and stuff, and she's always around animals because it was a dairy farm. And when I got together with her, they were just about to sell the farm and they were getting ready to move out, and she had 3 cats. One went with her cousin. One, sadly, we found out later, got crushed by a tractor. But not fun. Yeah, we didn't find out until 2 weeks after they moved. They just thought like she'd went away to, basically find another family, because that's what a lot of kind of stray cats did. And it wasn't until they went to pick up bits and pieces like the the tractor driver like came up and he was like wailing in floods of tears, like he just felt so guilty. He was like, I'm so sorry. But because they were farm and they were used to like cats and that dying all the time, they just found the story hilarious. So Rita came with us, and I'm actually allergic to cats. But so I have to take.
But then you still have it.
Yep, I take antihistamines. It was every day at one point. Now it's every week because I become used to Rita's dander. So if my wife ever says to me that I don't love her, that's the prime example. I put my health on the line every day for that fur baby.
I find it funny because with my ex that was always the problem. He's not really an animal lover, so we always had disagreements. He said, who are you going to choose? Those babies or me? I said the dog.
Exactly. It's like it didn't even deserve an answer.
Don't even ask for that. Already answered to that.
It's like, I mean, I know where my pecking order is with the wife. It is my kids, the cat, me. And maybe
but that's the reality.
Yeah, and if there's any other pets that come along, in the future, they'll go above me as well.
There.
And I'm okay with that. It's like, I love my cat. I think of her as my cat as well. And I even wrote a parody song about her. So if you ever want to look up that, look up Ginger Parodies Rita, and it's to the tune of the Kinks' Lola, and it's about her and how and we had a lot of teething problems, me and Rita. Especially when at night she used to like to do inappropriate things to my jeans and my t-shirts because she liked the smell of my sweat. So I'd be coming in some nights and all I'd hear is our bell going. Look down, she's looking like, human, do you mind? Okay, I have to burn that shirt now.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah.
They really like to be, close to their humans.
Oh,
That's the thing with them. That's why they memorize your scent, your sweat, whatever that is familiar to you.
Yeah, Rita always likes to lie in the middle of me and my wife, and it's only when I come to bed. It's like she thinks, human, you're not doing that to my mum. I'm getting in the middle of you. I just like, Rita, I'm just tired. I just want to sleep. That's all. That's all. We have kids now. That doesn't happen. We're tired. So we have kind of had a divergent topic, but at the same time, that's something that I like. If any listener knows, I do that a lot. So tell me about your creative endeavors. Tell me about your podcast and all that stuff, and all the creative things that you've been doing. As I like to tell my audience recently, sell, baby, sell.
Yeah. So because of I have to do the medical leave, so I had to just find out what I can do, and found out that hey, I can still talk, I can still sing, I can still write. Those are the three things that I really love doing ever since I was a kid. So okay, I opened a channel. I put up a channel, and then I did a song cover. So going into writing, I was lyrics, but I'm not yet done with it. So then I had trainings online, which led me to meeting podcast VA, virtual assistant, for a long time. And we put up how do you call that? Impact Podcasters, the agency. Yes, it's a podcast management and marketing agency.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm the creative director there. She's the main founder. We have a marketing head as well. But that's
So tell me a bit about the podcast marketing, because one thing I've noticed since I've started doing podcasts is that you get a lot of spam. People saying, I podcast, I promote, I do, and you're like, it's in very, very broken words. So you just know it's kind of like a bot that's contacted you rather than someone that's genuinely interested. How do you put forward to potential people that you're going to promote that you
Yeah.
aren't a bot. It's legitimate, organic promotion.
Mhm.
Well, I was very lucky
Yeah.
to be able to eventually find one who was able to do organic promotion. But
Yeah.
how do you manage to like differentiate yourself from all that junk that comes through? I mean, it must really annoy you as well, seeing all those essentially bots trying to undercut your hard work.
We don't only do the editing stuff that most people most agencies, podcast agencies do, but we also help in the launching, meaning to
Hmm.
say from the beginning, even for those who just want to rebrand themselves
Hmm.
or start up businesses that would like to have a podcast out there. We help them rebrand from the logo until they launch, and then we manage as such.
Wow.
So it's
Oh.
not only focused on the audio editing and hosting and all that. It's just a part of the service that we do.
Hmm.
We also do the logo. We do the social promotion, social media promotion.
Hmm.
So that's
Did
it.
you
From end
but
to end.
did you video like making as well? Like if someone was wanting to make like a visual introduction for YouTube, like would you have like a video creative team for that as well?
Yeah, we do have a TikTok and a YouTube channel, and
Wow.
we do marketing there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So tell
We
me what.
only launch August, so we're still starting.
Yeah,
All our projects are, just for building portfolio and all that.
yeah. So tell
Mhm.
my audience, like, because I'm sure there'll be other podcasters that'll probably be listening / stealing ideas. But where can we find your services? Like, what's give us again the name of the service, where they can go to contact you.
Impact, yes, yes, Impact Podcasters. So you can search at Impact Podcasters in TikTok, also in YouTube. So we also have the same IG and Facebook page at Impact Podcasters.
Yeah.
So it's actually one of my projects. So I have a main agency which is focused on brand marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like I told you, I'm an art appreciation teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and with the other agency that's really just mine, it's more into logos, videos, and websites. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not yet formally launched because I really have a busy schedule with interviews
Mm-hmm.
and all the other agency as well. So I'm planning to launch it formally in January,
Oh,
but
good.
everything's already out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's prolific creatives.
Mm. Oh, well, so by the time this airs, well, it will be January 2022. So
Yep.
everything should be set up by then for you. I wish you nothing but success with it. Well, I can already tell that you're a very, very hardworking,
Right.
very driven young woman, because I
Yes.
still don't believe you're coming up for 41. Well, I just think, young women. Well,
Yeah.
like you're
So yeah.
doing very
Yeah.
well. And tell me about where they can find like your singing. What your
The other
singing covers of your
agency,
channels?
it's the other agency is it's also in TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have a Facebook page, but yeah, it needs to be repurposed and all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
soon I'll be doing everything because I have already the ready employees waiting for me.
Mm-hmm. They're like, right, you coming? You're like, I'm just too busy with all these interviews.
They're
Like,
actually just waiting.
yeah, they're just sitting there, like just waiting to just go activate.
Yep, right.
uh,
So then, of course, since we needed to really have a case study for the podcast marketing agency that I told you about,
mm-hmm.
the main founder asked me if I wanted to do a show. I said,
Oh,
"Come on." I said, "Come on. I just do shows when I'm singing and dancing and when I'm in front of my students. Oh, come on. I know you can do it.
yeah,
What will I talk about? Anything you want." So
exactly.
that she said. And so while reflecting, was we're supposed to have a client. we called him Gigi because of his name. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with G and G.
Mm-hmm.
And then along the way, we just got tired waiting for him to finalize the deal. So okay, I said let's cut it. Just let's just look for someone else. But we don't have to wait. And then that's when I had this idea. If there is no Gigi, then I will be the Gigi. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, what would it be about? Then I thought of my life as a testimony of true grit,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been a lot of adversities, for 40
Mm-hmm.
years. I've been a lot of adversities, and I was able to pull it through
Yeah. Yeah. You've done,
gracefully.
yeah, you've done amazingly considering everything that's went on. Like, and I know you were saying you
Yeah.
weren't sure that you could be a podcast host, but speaking as someone
Hmm.
who's only I'm in the basic entry level, but I can see that what the potential for you being a podcast host. You're very warm. You're very articulate. You've got that kind of
Thank you.
you've got that personality that people do want to talk to you and engage and converse with you.
Right.
But so,
They not only talk to me. I had a guest who really just was tearful during the interview.
oh, well, I
Yeah, I
think,
was able to just bring out some
hmm,
emotions, but that was not my intention. But
but
because we were
well,
really just getting along and having the
mm-hmm,
chemistry, she was just crying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do anything.
yeah.
I didn't want you to cry, but just
Well, in
it's
fairness,
okay.
like, it's the guests that have been making me cry. Like, I've had two guests. Like, the guest before you, Tim, like, told me his story, like, and it was just so
Uh,
heartbreaking, and I was like wiping the tears away. I'm like, dude,
really.
man. It's like I'm very emotionally available at this point. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm wiping the
Uh-huh.
tears away from me. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
But so,
This morning I was crying because I was a guest this morning, and
mm,
he asked me what keeps you moving even if you're just new into podcasting, and then
mhm,
that's when the rush of emotions just
yeah.
happened, and I was tearful.
Yeah, well, it's totally understandable. But I'm very glad that I've not made any of my guests cry. I'm taking that as a plus at the minute. What? So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
as we're starting to come up on time, I'll round off with the one question that I ask all my guests. If you could give one piece of advice to anyone that's struggling with mental health issues at this moment in time, what would that piece of advice be and why?
Just find your self-worth. Start with self-worth. That's when you start to love yourself. And when you start to love yourself, that's when you learn and try to improve yourself. And when you already realize that you need to learn and upskill yourself continuously, that's when you will find your purpose in life.
Hmm.
So that's
That's
what I did. That's why I really did, because all those things that happened to me last year, to be honest, I was in the state of depression. I felt like I was in an abyss of sadness because first and foremost, I was emotionally depressed because my ex and I broke up. He was
mm,
my ex for 9 years. Then just right after that, pandemic set in.
mhm,
So then when the pandemic set in, because of depression, I wasn't into eating anymore. I forgot about myself.
mhm,
It just happened like it's just like a movie that I saw myself so sad, but I couldn't do anything to stop it. I was just crying all the time, and it was pandemic.
mhm,
So this thing happened with my condition, my spine.
mhm,
I don't know. Maybe my depression was an additional factor that that has to worsen my case. So it happened that I couldn't move it anymore from waist down because the herniated disc between lumbar area of level 4 and 5 was compressing the sciatic nerve that goes down on my left foot.
mhm,
So I was literally dragging myself out from bed because it was too painful. Then if I had really to do something like take a bath and other necessities, it was so painful in my left leg. I couldn't even eat because when I sit down, it would really be very painful. And even if I was doing therapies, even if I was taking three kinds of pain relievers, nothing was really improving at all. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd just be crying till wee hours of dawn. And my daughter was also disturbed because we were staying in bed together. We sleep together, of course. So, and on top of that, I got scammed by an internet fraud, almost
Oh,
200,000. So I
Jesus.
said, so
Well,
it just happened that
that's the year from hell. What in
I
every
was in
sense.
hell,
Yeah,
right? That's why I told you I was in an abyss of
yeah.
whatever you call it, sadness, depression, this, I don't know what you call it, but yeah, I didn't know how I was able to get out of it. But I think it was because when my daughter told me, why are you looking for someone else who's not here? I am here. I'm the one who's with you now. Am I not enough? That's what she told me.
Out of the mouths of
So it
babes,
was
huh?
just like a bomb that, you know,
Mm,
that sparked my want to improve my life.
mm,
So I decided to risk the operation, and people helped me, my friends, my
mm,
batchmates, because at that time I was already broke. Because I told you I was
mm.
scammed. So I sold some of my dogs and some of my belongings so I could be hospitalized, and I'm here. I'm alive. That was my second or third time of cheating death. Because when I was born, I already cheated that. I was born without heartbeat.
Wow,
hmm
thanks.
And the midwife
Yeah,
and the nurse who helped my mom to bring me out, they were the ones who saved me.
yeah,
And I'm here talking to you now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I told myself,
Just proves that even
why
even
should,
even death
yeah,
can't get you. But
yes.
you were already
That's
you.
why I said I'm a true epitome of grit.
Mm,
Because the moment I was born, I was already a warrior.
yeah, you were already flipped death off and was just like, no, not today.
Yeah, it just happened last year that everything just, it was just like, it just like was pouring out from heaven, pouring down
Mm,
from heaven. Why is it here again? Why is it here? And all is all over my plate that I couldn't eat all of that anymore.
man, Scrooge
So
and
yeah,
his child, you are the survivor. You are the
yeah.
survivor. You ain't gonna give
So
up.
I won't
No,
anymore because I've already learned to love myself. I don't have to look for somebody else to feel me. I mean, to let me feel that I'm important, that I'm loved, because I have to love myself first.
exactly.
And
What?
but being able to do that, I would, improve myself so that, I could I could try to attract better quality people.
Mm,
Yeah, so that's it.
yeah.
That's how I survived the mental issues that I had last year.
Mm,
I didn't I didn't want that to happen anymore.
mm,
So after operation, when I woke up from the operating room, I told myself I'm not gonna do the same thing anymore
mm,
because I think I owe it to my daughter. So I said I should do better this
mm.
year and the
How
next
old's your
year.
daughter, if you don't mind me asking?
She's 18.
She's 18, and she is very, very mature for her age. Like she's just like she was able to hit you with that truth bomb just to want to bring you out of it. I
Yeah.
mean, wow, what? If
She
your
took
daughter
care
was,
of me
yeah,
since last year. She took care of me because I was really out of sorts,
well,
to be
she's
honest
like
with
mother,
you.
like daughter. Like she's strong, and she's
She is, she's like my mother sometimes. That's our
mhm.
secret.
And everybody
She's
that
my
listens to
mother
this
at
podcast.
times. So yeah, but the good thing about her being so mature is that maybe God gave her a prize because when she graduated last June from senior high, she finished with flying colors. She's an honor student.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
Mhm.
You must be so proud.
I am.
I'm still at the stage where I'm like, if the boys go to the toilet by themselves, I'm like, yay. There's 3, so in fairness, that's a good thing. That was some really solid advice that you gave. I'm also really touched that you shared those kind of intimate parts of your story with me. That takes a lot of guts to do. Even if it's someone that you've known for years, and the fact you were able to talk to me about that in the half-hour conversation, I'm really, really honoured. Thank you so much, Mira. That was really brave of you to do.
Yeah.
So now we come to the Philippines' favourite part of the show. It is Ask Andrew Anything. For my regular listeners, this is when, after me grilling the guests for approximately 34 minutes and 59 seconds, they get to flip it around and ask me a question. It could be something as ridiculous as, what's the difference in your mind between a guinea pig and an actual pig? To who would win in a fight between Bender from Futurama or Darth Vader? So,
yeah, actually.
So, Myra, do you have a question for this mental ginger?
Yeah, actually, I'm really curious about the podcast title.
So, you want to know where that mental ginger show originated from?
Came from.
My own origin story. Fortunately, it's one I've been asked a few times, so I'm able to answer this quite well. The main reason that the title, if it's specifically the title, that's not what I've really been asked. It's just been more like, why did you come up with a podcast? The title is I always call it, it's the Ron seal of titles, because it's exactly what it says on the tin. Well, I have mental health issues and I have red hair, or as we call it, ginger. So that was why I thought, well, it's That Mental Ginger Show. Well, originally it started out being just a self-deprecating title. Just like I said, I've got mental health issues, I'm ginger, and I'm just going to talk rubbish because I don't know where my focus is going. What it did with the first kind of the 3 quote-unquote series. So it was like a kind of a pilot kind of thing. And then when I took not well and had to be removed from my kids and my wife, and I just thought there was no way kind of back for me. And I had to focus on myself and kind of get myself better. Not for myself, I was thinking of my kids and I was thinking of Alison to get back to them. But anybody that's listened to many episodes knows that story and how tough that was for me to do. But I did it, and I wanted it to take the title of the show to take more meaning to what I was doing. So I did my research and tried to figure out what was important to me. Because if you're not passionate about what you're talking about when you're doing a podcast, it can tell. Right. You're just sitting, you're like, oh, that's really interesting. Wow, you might as well be a robot. So I thought about the things that I like and that I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about the arts, like theatre, music, culture, and have been ever since I was a kid. And the reason I stepped away from it was because I had mental health issues and I needed to focus on myself. And I became as passionate about mental health as I was about the arts, raising awareness of mental health and doing my different projects to try and, raise money for mental health charities and things like that. And I thought, why not combine the two? Why not get people that are in the industry or have been in the industry or even just like doing the arts as a hobby or a passion, and get them to talk about it and how they feel their mental health is impacted by the arts, or how they've dealt with, if they've had mental health issues, how have they been able to get through it? Because a lot of the time you hear about people that are depressed when they're doing like your normal kind of day jobs. You don't hear it as often when it's the arts. It takes a tragedy, like for example when Robin Williams took his own life. It takes something like that for people to go, oh my goodness, it affects performers too.
What happened?
Yeah, and it
does. A lot of people do that now. I mean, even students here in my country.
Yeah,
there are those who take their own life because of mental health issues ever since the pandemic set in.
Yeah, definitely since the pandemic set in as well. A lot of people suffered mentally, because we just we're just trying to get through and trying to get to the light at the end of the tunnel, and it just never seemed like it was going to get there at all. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. But now we've got to that point where things are starting to get better. We can go outside. That's when I feel like the hard part of the journey is still to come. We've got to sort them, people's mental health. We've got to, because people will be agoraphobic. They won't want to go out. Well, in case they catch something, they won't want to be around people. They won't want to go to the cinema. They won't want to go to the theatre. They won't want to go to a restaurant. And it's all because of all these anxieties and this fear that is built up over the course of the pandemic. So now that we've got starting to get the vaccines and less people are dying, thank goodness, because sadly my Auntie Gina was one of them who caught COVID when she went into the hospital for a stroke, caught COVID in the hospital and never came out again. And she was one of the reasons that, one of the things that contributed to my breakdown last year. Because she's one of those matriarchal figures where you think they'll outlive you even though they're 91. And it's just one of those things that I was like, I couldn't cope, I couldn't deal with it. I felt I had to be strong for everybody else, and that really wasn't the case. But I felt I had to be strong for my gran, who was like her sister. I had to be strong for my mum, my dad, my wife. She doesn't really have a lot of close family, so she grew a very strong attachment to my Auntie Gina. And she kept saying, "I'm more upset than you are," and I'm like, "That's what it is." But in my head, I'm just like, "I've got to be strong. Just got to be strong." But I was dying inside. And it's also one of the reasons why I keep doing my performing and doing and going to do the podcast now, because one of the things my Auntie Gina loved was seeing me performing shows when I did them, and they always put a big smile on her face, and she was always just so full of life and joy. And so when I did the cover song of Flower of Scotland to raise money for the Scottish Association of Mental Health, it was also to honour my Auntie Gina and tell her that she'll always, and all my family, that no matter what I do, they'll always be with me in the stuff that I do. And yeah, that's also the same with doing the show. She's every time I load it up, I just think, how would my Auntie Gina kind of act in a conversation? Maybe put a little bit of that into my personality when I'm talking to people, where my zany humor kind of comes in. My Auntie Gina had that type of zany humor, and she was amazing. And I think this is actually the first time I've actually said was rather than saying is, because I've dealt with denial for so long, thinking, no, she's not gone. But yeah, I've only just started to kind of accept that she is gone. But she'll always be with me. She's always in here. And no one can take that away from me, no matter how hard they try. So suck it, devil. You ain't getting me. I keep building that condo next to your house. I'll be there, but not right now. Just make sure it has air conditioning. Gingers can't survive the heat. But that's good. Yeah, Myrna, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Again, I cannot believe that you're 40. But anybody that is listening on the audio, please go on to YouTube, just specifically see Myrna and go, she's not 40. Definitely not. I wish you nothing but success in everything that you do. You're such a lovely, positive warrior of a person, and please keep me updated with how things are going. Anybody that's watched this, take a note of everything that she's doing, and give her as much love and support as you can. She definitely deserves it. And if you're in the Philippines, try and get her to breed to you some more dogs.
True.
Yeah. Let's get some more puppies in the world. If anything makes the world better, it's puppies.
Yeah, actually during the COVID, my business was pandemic proof because it continued. Unlike those who have shops that close, my business was thriving because people needed dogs to help them cope with the pandemic.
Yeah, they need companionship, definitely. And yeah, that's the same with my little fur baby Rita. She knew that something was wrong before I even knew it. And she would always be cuddled up next to me, and I'm like, you don't normally do this. What's the deal? So yeah, thanks, Rita. I already have a plan for when she goes like that. We're going to make her into her ashes in a little glass frame. I'm going to put a picture of her in it, so she's always there. My wife thinks that's weird. I think it's quite unique and sweet, but that's another story for another day. Well, Mira, thank you again. I've been so honoured to speak to you. Wow, you're such a lovely person. You are officially my Philippines wife. You're my Philippines Alison. But yeah, because you have that love of animals, you have that inner strength, you have that determination. Alison's also had problems with her back as well. And she wound up in hospital from all that. She's got like not slip disc, but all like the kind of fluid and stuff that's around the bones. Like it's all worn away. Like so she's basically just got absolutely like gubbed back. So so there's lots of parallels between you and my wife. So you're my Philippines Alison.
Yeah. I wish I could meet her.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I thought I saw her coming in to sort stuff for the boys, but no, for once she's actually stayed away. I'm impressed. But no. Just go on my Facebook and you'll see my wife and my two kids and how awesome they are. Sure. Because in fairness, they're pretty awesome. But I'm their dad, I'm biased. Sure. So until next time, my 6 faithful followers, I've been Andrew Durning. So that I don't completely butcher my guest name again, can you please give your full name for our audience?
I'm Myrna Fe Agsaullo from the Philippines. I'll be sending all the links so that you can find me if you want to. Avail of our services.
Definitely. And we'll probably have conversations later on down the line when I'm like, right, I need to actually get this going. Help me out. Yep. I want to get to 10 followers rather than 6.
I only have like almost 1K.
I thought you were about to say like there's only so much I can do.
I only have 4 episodes, and that's why I only have like I think.
Don't worry, but I am 100% positive that you're going to have a lot more than just a few clients. Especially just for how you act and your professionalism and your manner. You're going to do really well. You have your ginger Scottish quote unquote husband rooting for you over here with his wee flag. So until next time, my followers, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.